Oh man!
Why?
And Kelsey just dropped a bad word before the stream started.
Yeah, you gotta get them out.
Getting them out of her system. Hello, we are live on location. My name is Todd Sullivan. With me is Kelsey Bell. And we are here with Rob Seib to talk about Gameloops.
That's right.
What is Gameloops?
Gameloops. It's a board game convention.
Awesome.
Gameloops. And it's playing board games all weekend.
Sweet. So is it this coming weekend or?
Yep.
So the exact dates we're looking at?
June 15th and 16th.
15th and 16th.
Saturday and Sunday.
And where is it taking place?
The Old Yacht Club at 1140 River Street.
Okay. Signing up in advance, people just show up at the door. What's it kind of look like?
Yeah, either way. You can buy tickets online at www.kamloopsgames.com. Or you can just show up at the door. The advantage of buying your ticket in advance is you can guarantee that there's still space for you.
So the space is limited, obviously, then?
Yeah, so the Old Yacht Club, it's limited in size like most buildings.
Sure. Except for the TARDIS, I think, is...
Right, yeah. It's not a TARDIS.
Yeah. So how many are you hoping to hit over the weekend for attendance?
I'm hoping for 50 people per day.
Okay.
We've sold about 30 tickets per day.
And is the 50 sort of at maximum capacity, or is there room above that?
We can support up to 100 people. If 100 people showed up all at the same time, it would be a bit tight in terms of how big board games can be.
Right.
But yes, up to 100 people per day.
Okay.
Do you bring your own games, or are there a bunch of games there, obviously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So we have 140 games lined up.
Are you gagging?
No, that's more like I can't believe it's those many games. That's a ton of games.
That's not gross.
No, it's not gross. It's exciting.
Cool. That is exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Unless you hate board games.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to give that impression. I love board games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring your own. I've posted the entire library on the website, so you can see what's already there. But yeah, if you don't see the game you like on there and you have it, bring it on down.
So it feels like, just from the way you're describing it, it could fit into it could draw two types of people. One, you've got the type of person who might be interested in learning more about board games, and here's a way that they can, maybe hands-on try a bunch of different things. But also potentially, if you have a board game that you love, that you're looking maybe for people to play it with or to show to other people, you can bring it in and maybe get some new friends to play a board game with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's a whole variety of games, easier ones and more complex ones. And the community is, at all the events that I've been a part of, community has been really great at helping each other learn new games. So I've learned a ton just by being part of it.
Sure.
Just exposure to somebody's there that brings the game and they know all about it and they can help the table learn it together.
How many years have you been doing this?
I've only been running events for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is the biggest event I've ever run. This is the first Gameloops.
Okay.
All the things I've done have been like board game nights. The biggest event I've done was 30 people, and it was just an all day get together, pretty casual, but people coming in throughout the day playing games.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is there snacks and beverages allowed?
Yeah, absolutely. You can bring snacks and beverages. We're gonna have some bottled beverages there for everybody. And then there's food trucks coming on both days as well during the middle of the day. So that's great.
Perfect.
Well. Mm-hmm.
And so this is the first, like you said, the first Gameloops. How exciting is that for you to have sort of reached this? Like you said, you haven't done anything this big before. How excited are you for this event?
Super nervous.
Yeah. Super
excited. It kind of, we've been talking to other people. It seems like everybody's interested in getting together more and doing bigger stuff like this. So I was really excited to give it a shot.
Was there anything in particular that sort of sparked a desire to put something like this together?
I think just conversation with other gamers.
Yeah.
Because
there was just a lack of fun for you guys.
Yeah, it's like everybody wants everybody wants to play, but nobody wants to organize because it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
So people are even really grateful if I just simply, if I simply call a board game shop like Desert City Games and just say, hey, can we set something up for next Wednesday? People are really grateful if I just do that.
Right.
Even if I don't show up to it, right? Because I'm just, if somebody's just willing to just kind of set it up and put it together and invite people and market it a little bit, then a lot of people don't want to do that part. But they're happy to show up and
play a
meet
game.
new people and play games. Yeah.
Are you hoping to have this like a yearly thing from now on, or?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But we have to see how it goes, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I think to an extent too, because I am a little bit into board games, and some of them are quite expensive. Like it can be, especially if you want to have multiple games, it can be an expensive hobby to maintain, and it can be an expensive hobby to get into, especially if you don't, like, who wants to drop $150 or more on a game that they've never tried?
Yeah.
How big a factor is that, do you think, in what might hopefully be, a successful sort of Gameloops event? Do you think it's going to be a lot of people who are like, I want to try some games out before I drop money on them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge part of conventions. And I'm using the word convention a little liberally because
Sure.
a board game convention in like Vancouver is,
Way different.
they rent out, what's the center? Is it the Rogers Center still?
Oh.
Whatever the big center.
Yeah.
Or Canada Place even.
Yeah.
They'll rent out this massive thing and there's vendors and there's just tons of stuff. This is much, much, much smaller than that, right? But even so, we've had publishers send us games that they were going to put on the table, and they've just given those games to us for free. And
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah,
And for an event that's not even had its first iteration yet.
yeah,
That's really awesome.
yeah. They're like, oh, you expose it to 50-ish people, that's worth it for us. So, and somebody's going to get a chance to take the game home because we're doing a draw for those ones. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So how much outreach did you do then to, various board game companies prior to this?
I reached out to about 10 different ones.
Yeah.
And we got 4 interested. So,
Are those like Canadian companies? Are they sort of, from all over the place?
2 American. Wait, is off the page Canadian? Oh, so 3 Canadian.
Okay.
And 1 American company. Stonemeyer Games sent us 2 different games, Harrow County and Red Rising. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing a lot at the event is teaching these games that have been donated. And then anybody who plays it's called Play and Win. Anybody who plays one of the Play and Win games, put their name in the draw and they can win one of them.
Very.
Will Twister be there?
I don't have plans to bring Twister,
Oh,
but
that's-
maybe
Maybe
we
you
should bring it.
could.
That's the
Maybe
only
you should
game
bring
I
it.
like to play. Because I just don't. I can't pay attention to like the instructions. Like it brings me back to high school. I'm telling you. Okay, that's it. I just
Well,
was
I mean,
wondering if you had.
Did you
Twister.
play any board games in high school other than
No. Monopoly. No, I would run away.
Twister? Is Twister a board game?
It's not a boring game. And
I
it's
mean,
not a board.
It does.
Oh, it's not a board.
But it
so
does-
It's like a mat. It's a mat.
It's
It
a
does.
mat game.
I mean, I have played board games on mats though.
Right.
Right?
That's true. You can
So
put the board on a mat.
yeah, I think mats are considered a board.
But you don't put it on the table. Don't you have to put it on the table?
You could.
You could if you had
Twister on the table would be
if
a
you
whole
had
new
a
level.
sturdy table and you
If
had
you're
good
nimble,
balance. Yeah.
If you're, trust me, it can happen.
I think I'm going to find in judgment of Twister being a board game.
It could be a table game for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
It's been
Anyway.
decided Twister is a board game. But
So yeah, if you want to
not bringing
play
it.
Twister, and you have to bring it yourself because Rob is not bringing it. And
Let me know if you bring it though, because then I'll come hang out.
there you go. Yeah, let Kelsey know if you're bringing Twister.
I stretch, so I'll be good at this game. What?
Nothing. Do you have any games that you're looking forward to trying out, or what?
Nothing.
Other than Twister? Sorry.
my brain is full of games.
Yeah.
That I brought and I've already played. That's a great question. Is there any games that I want to try that I haven't played?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not aware of any games that you haven't played yet.
No, they're on the list. They're on the list, but
He has a list.
Oh,
I haven't played all of them that are being brought because I'm not just bringing games that I own. I've arranged. I don't own 140 games. I've arranged for other people, like the ones that you saw coming in here. All of those were lent,
Just being lent.
lent by someone. Yeah. I'll get back to you once this is up, but some of my favorite games that I hope to get to the table, like Everdell.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing and very cute game. You play, you're building a little village, and you play animals like squirrels and owls and different animals to your village, and you build buildings.
that is cute.
And there's a giant tree, which is really fun. You put you put cards on there, and you collect workers from it and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a lot of games that I have not played.
Anything that you have played that you are excited to maybe see other people play?
I love Rome. Actually, both my wife and I love Rome. ROAM,
Oh, okay.
like wander.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple game, and every time I introduce people, they really like it. But it doesn't seem as big or popular as like Catan or Ticket to Ride or anything.
Okay.
Oh, Catan. Sorry.
So have you played Catan?
Yeah.
Ruining friendships since 2001. Whenever
It's
came
not
out.
my thing. Mousetrap. I like Mousetrap.
Mousetrap.
Is that going to be there?
I don't have it.
Oh. Okay.
But you could bring it.
I don't have it.
Go to Valley Village.
There are some classics that we do have, like cribbage
Oh yeah.
and backgammon, blockus. What are some other classics?
It's just the attention span is a thing for me.
Yeah.
So I think that is why. Right?
Could be, yeah. Are there games that are like, we're having someone pointing at a game that's maybe good for someone with a short attention span.
Oh yes,
What is that?
Sushi Go.
Sushi
Can
Go.
we show that on camera?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Oh, we can't show it.
So Sushi Go is
Sushi Go Party, cute.
It's so cute.
Is that a party version of it, or is that just the version?
It's a bigger. It's like the original Sushi Go was like this big. It's just a small card.
Okay.
Game. But Sushi Go Party is an expansion.
Okay.
It's just a bigger version of it.
Sure.
It has more cards, more types of sushi.
And probably meant for more people?
I think it does support more people.
Yeah.
And you're building combos of sushi. The theme of the game is like you're enjoying a meal of sushi together. And you're selecting what things you want, almost like selecting from a menu and playing these cards. And then at the end of the round, you score based on the cards you played.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool.
And then do you judge everyone's sushi roll? Like, ew. What is that in your sushi?
I think they've made it so that there's never something gross.
Like a bad combination of
I
food
think
items.
I think that would be bad marketing.
Not like Harry Potter jelly beans flavor.
Right.
Oh yeah, those are something else.
They have those, what are they called? Bean Boozled.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the Bean Boozled thing? That's probably like a decade old by now, but it's basically it's a jelly bean game that you can play. This is perfect for you. It's
That would be fun for me.
it's the perfect attention span game.
Yeah.
But
Is it gross stuff?
it can be.
Oh, that's
right?
fun.
Because each bean color has two different flavors potentially.
Oh.
One is a good flavor and one is a gross flavor. And so the way the game works is you get a little spinner. And you flick the spinner, and it spins around, and it lands on a color. And then here's the tray of beans, and you pull that bean color, and you have to eat it, and then find out in your mouth.
Is it green
what-
apple or is it snot?
Exactly.
Cool.
And I remember my kid Reagan was obsessed with this game about 5 years ago, and I tracked it down, and I bought it, and we were playing Bean Boozled one day. It's not really fair to say play. You only do 1 or 2 rounds before you're feeling nauseous. But they had to take a white bean that was either probably like marshmallow or rotten milk.
Oh, yummy.
And so she's chewing on this bean and going, I don't know if it's good or bad. And I lean over to like to look, and immediately I get this whiff in my nose of rotten milk, and I'm just like, oh, it's bad. Take my word for it. It is so bad. And then the one that was the best for her as far as color was the blue one, because it was either like blue raspberry or it was like
Windex?
toothpaste.
Oh.
But as far as she was concerned, toothpaste is just like getting a mint
Yeah.
bean. Yeah. So it wasn't really that bad. But I still have the Bean Boozled
I love
beans at
jelly
home.
beans.
So
Probably the weirdest one I've had is popcorn flavor. But
I think that might be
That's
one
not
of the ones in there
You
too.
guys, that's the best one.
you like
It's-
popcorn?
That's
jelly
the
beans?
best
It's a different flavor though.
It's kind of buttery. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird.
tastes like sweet sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, what everybody wants.
Speaking of beans, there's a board game that I don't have on the list. I hope somebody brings. It's Bonanza. Have you played that?
No.
It's kind of a pun because bonanza means like an opportunity, but also it's like the German word for bean, Bohnen.
Oh, okay.
So
I
it's
didn't know that.
You're planting beans, and you grow the beans. It's really fun.
One game that I bought was it last year or the year before? Anyway, that I quite enjoy is a game called Canvas. Have you experienced that?
Oh, Canvas. I think I played it once.
Yeah. So the idea is that you are basically making little paintings, and you have the cards are all they're transparent, and so you layer these different transparent cards on top of each other with a colored background, and by layering the three different cards on top, you create essentially a painting with the three different pieces of things that you've layered on top. And then you're also at the bottom of each card, there's like different scoring points that you get to try to achieve your goals of the actual game itself. But again, it sounds very much like what you were describing the Sushi Go game as, is like you're just building these little things, and how you build them and the way you build them sort of generate those points. Yeah. But at the end of it too, you've got a little painting you can show somebody, and it's got a little painting name, and people can be like, your painting sucks. Or not.
Yeah. I actually haven't played it, but another friend told me about it, and it looks really fun. So I remember looking at pictures of it. The artist goes to New York. It's like you draw little pictures. You draw like a single line on a picture, and then you pass it to the next player, and then they draw a line.
Okay.
And then the next
I
person,
used to do that.
and then one person has to like figure out what it is.
Oh.
That sounds like the fun part.
Yeah.
I used to make up my own games during class. I was supposed to pay attention, but yeah, I remember in Spanish class, I would like do a squiggly, and then I would pass the paper to my friend, and then she would like try to make like what this squiggly could be, and she's like, she would add like a beak and some wings, and she's like, there, it's a duck. That was
fun.
my game.
That
Sounds fun.
We played a lot of games like that growing up because there were less board games.
That is also true.
Wait, how old are you? There
not
was
saying-
lots of board
Not a
games.
polite,
that on
not a polite question to ask live.
I think there was tons of board games back in the day, weren't there?
What do you mean by tons? Like now there's thousands.
I guess so.
So the only
That's a good
games
point.
when I was a kid we had Uno, Trouble, which I guess is just sorry with a bubble thing.
Yeah.
We had Monopoly, Life, and we had a game, actually a Canadian game called Up the Creek.
Not heard of that one.
I don't think it would have aged well, but you built basically like canoes full of people, and they're transporting goods and stuff.
Huh? Yeah, that's Canadian.
It was a strange game, and we didn't know the rules, but we played it though.
I'm sorry, I'll take that back. You're right. There weren't a whole lot, I guess.
No, there was. I mean, Scrabble would have been
Scrabble.
part of that era.
Theatrics, Pictionary.
Oh,
Pictionary a little bit.
Trivial
Pursuit.
Yeah.
We played
Yeah.
Sequence as a family. My parents didn't really like
Clue.
board games, but we played Sequence. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's an abstract game where you like play cards to put poker chips on a board. You're trying to basically get like connect 5 or whatever.
I'm sure I've seen the box. I remember like seeing the logo. I can see the
You
logo
saw
for
it on
Sequence.
you saw it on the stairs.
Or maybe that's part of it too. But I'm sure I've seen it before that, but I've never played it.
Actually, I've been wanting to do like a game night where you just find the weirdest board game at the thrift store. Like like call your crash, and it's got all these pictures of boyfriends that you can have,
Well,
and you're supposed to.
There's some weird
prank
games
call.
at Thrift Store.
I do think that would be a fun, like a YouTube channel is just going to the,
Try old games.
yeah, just go to the thrift store and buy, like you said, the weirdest looking game,
Yeah.
and then go home and bring your friends over and like, let's see if we can figure out this Call Your Crush game
Yeah.
live on YouTube right now.
That'd be a pretty fun channel idea.
Right? Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, especially over the years, there have been these one-off games that come out of nowhere
Yeah.
trying to jump on some kind of trend that maybe 10 people in the world bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ends up in a thrift store somewhere, just rotting on a shelf until somebody brings it home.
I have one of those. I got it at the hospital thrift store called Rise and Fall, and it was designed by like a military strategist in the States.
Whoa.
It's really technical and difficult, and it's just like cardboard tokens and a big map, and you're simulating different scenarios that happen in like Roman history.
Okay.
Like this barbarian tribe is attacking this area of Rome or whatever. Play different scenarios. Yeah, although that would be probably less fun to bring it out on your channel idea. Because you'd be sitting there for several hours.
That's true.
I was just gonna ask, like, how do you categorize games? Like Catan is an example of, like, what would you call that? Like, you're building what would you call that type of game?
Yeah. People have categories, so I like to use the words hobbyist and mass market, because a mass market game is like Exploding Kittens or whatever the Unicorns one is, or Monopoly.
Unstable Unicorns, I think it is.
Unicorns one?
Unstable.
Unstable
Yeah.
Unicorns.
My kid's big into that one too.
There you go.
Exploding
Or
Kittens.
Monopoly. Those are I'd call those mass market games because they appeal to a mass market. And
Okay.
then hobbyist games, which are like, it's more of a niche. You have to be more of a nerd.
Okay, so Catan is more.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Catan is pretty accessible, and
Yeah.
it's pretty popular at this point.
Yeah. It's starting to break into what might be considered mass market or mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm
there's also Eurogame versus They call it Ameritrash. I don't like the term.
That's rude. Come on.
Like Arkham Horror is considered an Ameritrash game. It's an American style of game where there's a little bit more chaos and a little bit more dice rolling. Whereas a Euro game, like Catan, I think qualifies as a Euro game despite the dice. But most Euro games don't have dice in them.
Interesting.
They're a little bit more fine-tuned, I guess. I don't know exactly. It's like... Yeah, you have to have it with tea. You can't...
Yeah. Fine-tuned.
Yeah. You drink coffee with the American games and tea with the Euro games.
You
And
crush a
trashy
beer.
coffee. Trashy black coffee.
You crush a beer and drive your monster truck.
That's true too. Yeah.
Playing your board game.
There's a Monster
American.
Truck board game where you're
Is
like...
there?
Yeah, I haven't had it. I think it's called Thunder Road. You're trying to... Basically, you're racing to the end of the track. Crushing other people.
That sounds fun.
Okay, yeah, I could do that one.
Yeah. Sounds cool. I haven't tried it.
Who doesn't want to like run over vehicles?
Yeah.
What is your favorite game?
Wow,
Is that a hard-
That's a tough question. So I already mentioned Everdell. It's a great game, but I really like Terra Mystica, which is a Euro game. It's pretty complex, but once you know the symbols, it's straightforward. You're basically building. You're basically building buildings and upgrading them, and you're trying to build a large connected area of buildings, and you're competing for that land, of course. So Terra Mystica, absolutely amazing. And I really love Root, which is an American game.
Route.
Route. It's ROOT.
Oh.
Oops.
But yeah,
But I'm sure you could pronounce that route as well if you wanted to.
Rough.
I mean, there's lots of different accents in America.
Yep. Yep.
True.
So you could pronounce it a number of ways.
Route.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
Where in America is that?
Route.
So in Root,
Seattle?
Root,
Yes, Seattle.
Root is a really unique game. So every single player has a completely different set of rules. There is some rules that bind them together, like how you battle and how you move. But you might play the birds, and the birds have to follow a certain tradition. And once you've picked actions, you have to keep up those actions, or else you go into turmoil and your leader gets ousted. Anyway, you might play the cats, and they're kind of trying to take over the woodland, and they like to build lots of buildings, and they're building sawmills and their recruiter stations and all. I might play I can't remember what they're called, but they're basically like all the small woodland animals, like the mice and the squirrels. And they're basically like the rebel alliance of the woodland. Whereas the cats are more like the Imperials.
Makes sense.
So everybody has a different set of rules and a different faction, and
Cute.
very strategic. And it's actually, I think it's a very social game because you're sort of always compromising between how you're going to spend your resources with who, right? And you're kind of trying to read your opponents and stuff like that.
Is there anything that you would recommend, say, for somebody that is sort of, brand new to modern gaming, modern board gaming? They want to get away from your Scrabbles and your Monopolies and your things like that, Twister.
Yeah. There's another category of game for you, gateway games.
Okay, sure.
What's that?
There's lots of different games that I'd recommend for exactly that scenario. So Ticket to Ride, it's very easy to learn. You're building train routes. You have cute little colored plastic trains, and you plop them down on the tracks, and you're trying to meet goals.
Yeah.
So it's straightforward, but there's a lot of depth there. I'm bringing the Europe one, but there's an American one. There's you can build lines in India, etc. King Domino. King Domino is really the perfect game. I always say this. It's like the perfect game for anyone because it's very easy to learn, not too competitive.
Okay.
You are basically selecting tiles. They're like domino-sized tiles. You're selecting them, and of course, if I pick one, then you can't pick it. So there's some competition there, but then you're just placing it in your little kingdom and trying to connect the different types of land together. So water and fields, etc. It's really easy to learn, and it's just the depth. Despite the fact that I like all those kind of bigger, heavier games I mentioned, I still love a lot of these smaller games that may be simpler, but they have a ton of depth.
Mm-hmm.
So other gateway games, other than Catan.
Do you think Catan's a good gateway game?
I think it is.
Okay.
The only thing about Catan, which you should, if you're playing with new players, you should help them pick their first settlement. Because if you pick a bad first placement, then
It's really hard to recover.
it's very hard to recover.
Yeah.
So be nice to new players. If you already know how to play the game, then help them out with their first placement. Be nice.
I think that should be a rule, like across the board when it comes to board games, though, that like, especially if you want to have people who are going to continue playing. Mm-hmm. That first time out, if you approach the game like, I know all the rules, so I'm going to make sure you go down hard, they're not going to want to play a game again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a lot of good game design out there that kind of doesn't hinder new players too much. Mm-hmm. Like the score gap isn't massive, even if you are pretty new at it. But you can still master the game. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's something I found. I have played Ticket to Ride a few times, and I found that the way it scores, even if maybe you don't win, there's enough different way of scoring it that you feel at least that you were competitive.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't win, it's good that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I really like highly thematic games, so that regardless of how I perform, I still felt like I did something cool. Like Scythe is a big game from Stonemaier Games, and you get to build mechs. And I was just like, I'm going to build my mechs. That's what I'm going to do. So because mechs are just giant robots.
Robots, yeah.
For those.
Thank you.
Yeah, a mech is just a giant robot.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Oh, like this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like this guy.
Who is this guy? Can we talk about that guy?
We can, yeah. This is a local company I worked with, Two Story Robot, a software development company in Kamloops. They were like, we want to make a board game for our staff, just for fun. So they hired me to make this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so this is a game.
You
This
made
is,
Yeah,
and it's
I didn't
just for their
I
staff?
didn't make the art. I made the game mechanics.
That's that's the bulk of the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, their staff are featured in the game. Very fun project. This isn't something you can buy on the shelf. It's just
Right,
there's
exactly.
only 10 copies in the world.
Holy hell.
They made them for staff. I got one too. Yeah.
Good for you. How many games have you made?
I've designed 9 fully playable games, but not all of
There
them.
could almost be a convention just for your games.
Yeah, for sure. That's so cool.
Not all of them are like
Rob gone.
commercial ready. Yeah, not all of them are commercial ready. So like technically playable. Like I have made cards for them. You can play them, but not all of them. I've only published 2.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
What's stopping you from publishing the other ones?
Either it was just a fun project that doesn't necessarily have market potential, or it was just for a hobby, or I just haven't got to it yet.
No
Yeah.
pressure. I'm
Give
not
him a
trying-
break, Kelsey.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just asking.
He's busy. He's got a convention to put together.
Wondering. Sorry. And he has a wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
He's busy. I get it.
if you want to publish games, you can either pitch them to other publishers, or you can try to self-publish, which I've been trying to do. And it's a whole business, publishing. You're thinking about logistics. You're thinking about market fit. You're thinking about advertising and fulfillment and stock and all those things, right? All the business side of things, which are quite complex. So if you
Trends.
yeah, exactly. But the reason I'm interested in doing it is because there are games that may not exist if people don't publish games.
Yeah.
Like if you might make a really cool game, but all the publishers out there just aren't interested. It's not their style. In their opinion, it's not good for the market.
Right.
But maybe it's really unique and really cool. Maybe there's people who want to buy it.
That's just one person's opinion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, then you need to go out and find customers. So.
True.
But I mean, some of what we've got on the table here are your games. So let's look at some of these since we can actually show them on the stream.
Let's. Can
Right.
I bring them closer to the camera?
Sure, yeah.
Kelsey's going to play Vanna White for us.
I wash my hands just for you guys. Look, where's Todd? Aha! I'm covering both of your faces.
Hello, we're a couple of games now
it's
talking to you.
Terra Square and my.
Mythical Menagerie.
Oh, I was like my thick something.
My Thick Thighs.
My Thick Thighs, the board game.
Not my thick
That'd
thighs.
be a great
And this one.
Travelers of Tripos. Yeah.
Wow. So, which was your first?
That was my first game, and I don't
This one.
I don't recommend making a big game for your first game
Right, yeah.
because it
This
was
looks-
so
yeah.
much work.
Can we open it?
Sure, yeah. I will have a couple of these at the event too if people want to try them.
Oh, I'm scared to touch stuff.
Oh,
How do you do it? You do. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
You're the.
I don't know what the camera can see here.
Oh. You just.
Oh yeah, you can bring that over.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
Now.
Oh, we've got a better
This is
box.
a wooden version of it.
Is this like a limited edition or
Yes.
something? Wow.
It is just
Oh my God.
Better?
Are we about to Jumanji this place? We
No.
apologize for the mess that'll happen when we open this as all the animals come out.
yeah.
So, obviously, this is probably not regularly available by.
Correct. It was a special Kickstarter thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you funded this on Kickstarter?
Yeah, so I funded this game on Kickstarter. We raised $11,000, which was enough to print, manufacture, and freight it to North America.
That's and it was your first game. Was that your first attempt at a Kickstarter, or?
Second attempt.
Okay.
My first attempt didn't fund.
Right.
So I needed to do some work on the art and fine-tune the mechanics a little bit and present better marketing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's an interesting example that, like, if your initial attempt at a Kickstarter doesn't take, don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessarily a reflection on the core idea, but maybe the presentation. You know, go back, revise it, everything else.
For sure. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons the Kickstarter can fund, and not the least because nobody sees it.
Yeah, for sure. Getting the word out, getting eyes on it.
I recently backed a game. The title has slipped my mind. Pegasus Games is the publisher, and the game is really cute. It's kind of role playing. It's a simple role playing game. It's really easy to learn, and everybody like gets a card with their character and everything. And the theme is all these fantasy characters in a reality show together, a reality TV show. And the first time they put it up on Kickstarter was, I think, 2 years ago, and absolutely wonderful presentation. Like, the Kickstarter page was gorgeous, the art was wonderful, the game was clearly explained, but nobody saw it.
Right.
They weren't able to get enough people to go to the page, right? You can't rely on people just stumbling across it on
Exactly.
Kickstarter.
That's the tricky thing.
Some people do like open Kickstarter on their phone and scroll, but that's a small minority. It's a niche. If you want to sell your product, you need to bring your audience to the platform.
And you have to somewhat find out who is your audience.
Yeah.
And what do they like?
Yeah.
What are they like?
Exactly. Yeah. And they funded the second time, so yeah.
Wow.
I think
Right on.
backed it like 2 months ago, and really excited for that one when it arrives.
Nice.
I just want to point out the detail. What do you call it? It's not wood burned, is it?
Yeah, this was made on a laser cutter.
A laser cutter, like
my-
from Makerspace, almost.
Yeah. A friend of mine is really into laser cutting, and
Beautiful.
he did all these up.
That's
for me.
gorgeous.
It's so much detail.
So this is like etched in kind of a shallow cut, so you can
Yeah.
see the artwork on the face,
Wow.
and then just pop it open,
Oh.
and you can just pull the lid out.
Oh.
You can see the board is just so cool.
Oh, wow. The whole thing is?
The board is in 2 pieces
Wow.
that slot together.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it's a lot
Kind
of
of
fun.
reminds me of like honey or a beehive.
Yeah, kind of.
Honeycomb.
So in my game, you're traveling from place to place, completing quests, encountering creatures, some hostile and some not so much, and you're competing with other players for quest points to be the better adventurer.
So what, I mean,
This was your first game?
Yeah, it was a
You
ton
are
of
so
work.
optimistic.
what
Wow.
what sort of like other game would you compare it to? Not necessarily like as a bang on comparison, but just sort of as a quick feel. If someone's played other games,
Right.
what would they think of?
It's hard to come up with one.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of
It's fairly unique. Yeah.
but it's kind of in the same vein as Arkham Horror, except for it's not horror.
Right.
It's very lighthearted themes. In that it's like a simplified role-playing, like RPG adventure. So you primarily play by traveling, and you have quest cards which tell you where to go. So you have to decide, am I going to travel to this city or that city? Roll the dice. You do skill checks just like you do in D&D. You roll the dice and check to see if you've succeeded a roll.
Yep.
Right? And there's some combat mechanics as well. So it's kind of similar to those types of games like Arkham Horror, D&D.
Sort of like a D&D type experience on a board.
Yeah.
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 What about the other ones here? The Terra
Squares is a very simple game. I actually do have a few. I don't know if I would call it published because I only just have a few copies.
Yeah.
It's a very simple, like, tile placement game. Mythical Menagerie, I published it and did a small run, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But it's a simple card game, kind of like we were talking about Sushi Go earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You're building sets, but in this game, each different fantasy creature has a different power. So the rabbit, you draw more cards. The dragon is worth more points. The fox takes cards out of other people's hands. And the tortoise protects
wily
you.
fox.
Yeah, the fox. Yeah, and then the tortoise protects you from the fox. So, yeah, it's a pretty simple, straightforward little card game.
Very cool. And so, obviously these, like you said, they're like limited runs or whatever else. You can't just like walk into a store, or can you walk into a store and buy any of these?
No, Travelers of Trifosa you can.
Okay.
it made its way into retailers across the states. No Canadian distributor picked it up, and other than a local shop at the time was Haven Games. They had some copies. But yeah, the distributor. I was with a distributor in the States, and they closed their doors. Unfortunately, they went under.
Oh no!
So.
And that was the one place that was distributing the game, or
Yeah. So about 120 games went out to shops throughout the States. Recently, my friend went to Alaska and saw it there. She was like, "Oh, look what I saw at the shop."
That would be pretty wild, eh?
Cool.
Yeah, it was really weird. So yeah, it's getting into retail is a big deal if you can land it. But distributors are understandably very picky at this time because the competition is huge. The economy is tighter.
Yeah.
Manufacturing and freight has gone crazy through the roof, right?
And they've got to put money out to put it on their shelves, and if it doesn't sell once it's on their shelves, they're out that money, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a risk.
So, what inspires you to create each game? Like, do you just how does your creative process begin?
It's hard to say because ideas just constantly flood my mind,
Ah.
and I just write them down, and then sometimes they turn into something.
Is it ever like you're playing a board game and you're like, I'd like to make a game that's like this, but more fun?
Not really, actually.
Yeah.
I'll definitely borrow mechanics from other games. I'm like, oh, for this one, what's that game called? You're building orchards. Dang it, the title's not coming to my mind, but there's really beautiful, different colored trees, and you have to build in like a pattern, crisscross pattern. And I'll probably remember the name later after we've
When we're
started.
Of
done
course,
streaming.
yeah.
That's how it
But
works.
in that game, when you discard a card, which you have to do, other players can draw from your discard pile. So I was like, that's the mechanic that this game needs. So I put that mechanic in this game. When you discard, other players can draw from your discard pile. It's a lot of games are just combinations of all these different components and mechanics that are already established as something interesting or useful, and you just have to apply them to whatever your problem is.
Yeah. I a lot of people will play a game, and when you see a mechanic that you've experienced in a different game, it does, I think, ease the entry into the game. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. I've got a buddy.
It's like, oh, this is like Twister.
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
This game needs Twister inside of it. You draw a card. It's like, okay, put the Twister board on the table.
Yeah, exactly. What you need to do is convert this into a Twister. You just travel by crawling around on the board, and there you go. You go the Twister version of, or we could have a Travels of Twister Foza.
What about yeah, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind.
I know there's other designers in Kamloops. So hopefully, I know a couple that are coming to Gameloops.
Okay.
I'm encouraging them to bring their games. Like James.
Yeah, for sure.
James Jaltema is a co-organizer of Gameloops, and he contributed to a game called Bah Humbug. And
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a Christmas game. It's really great. He's going to bring that out. So hopefully other people could bring their games as well, and and meet new people that can help you play test. Or,
Yeah, but you must play nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Unless you have a game that's not about playing nicely, and maybe then that's part of the rules is you have to be a big
Like
meanie.
Twister.
Yeah.
Is that you play Twister very aggressively?
Yeah.
There are some
Body
pretty
check people.
cutthroat games. There's a mechanic called Take That.
Okay.
It's just any mechanic that you're just doing something nasty to another player.
Oh, there's a game I quite like called Poetry for Neanderthals. I think it's called.
Oh, I know that game.
Yeah, basically, it's a bit like charades in that you draw a card and you have to try to get the other person to guess what's on the card, but you have to describe the thing only using single syllable words like a caveman.
That sounds
And it
fun.
comes with
So-
it comes with a little club, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the thing
you
I was
bonk
mentioning.
them on the
Yeah.
head?
So there's basically there's a judge from the other team that watches you as you're trying to do it, and if you use any of the words on the card, you get bonked on the head, and they say no. Or
I
if you
want to play that.
or if you use a multi-syllable word, no, and then you have to drop that card and move on to the next one. And then for the perverts, there's a not safe for work version as well. So
What? There is?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, there's a not safe for work version of yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a good time.
What's it called,
It's called Poetry for Neanderthals.
Not safe for work version.
Not safe for work. Yeah,
Oh.
and it's tremendous
That is
fun.
the
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I listened to an interview with the owner of the company.
Hmm?
And I think he developed. I don't know if he developed that game or if he designed that game or if he just oversaw it. I'm not sure. But
I think-
he said that they had to be really careful about. They had to talk to a lawyer about what to put in the rule book because you're bonking people on the head with the thing, right?
Right.
So they're like, "What's?" The lawyer had to tell them like, "How do we write this in a way that's not going to get us litigated?"
Well, it is an inflatable club, so you can only do so much damage. It's
I
like
suppose,
it's
yeah.
like a balloon.
Yeah, but I think they tried to avoid the word hit or other things like
Oh.
don't hit people on the head with it.
Right. Punish.
Punish them with the inflatable.
Punish them lightly.
Yeah.
No.
Gently caress their and so, yeah,
That's for the not safe for work version.
yeah, exactly.
Gently caress them.
God.
sorry,
Stop
sorry. No, but it's a fun game. I think that came out of the people who make the oatmeal website.
Yeah, exploding
Yeah.
kittens
And them too,
the
yeah.
oatmeal, yeah, the
What's
exploding
this exploding kittens thing? This sounds cruel.
exploding kittens is worth knowing about.
Yes.
Okay, why?
So it's very, very, very simple card game. I personally don't really enjoy it that much because it's quite chaotic. You might draw a bomb and just die.
It's simple and chaotic.
Yeah, it's chaotic in the sense that
Sounds up your alley.
something random happens.
What the? What does that mean?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
I'm simple and chaotic.
No, but you might appreciate
I do.
the simple and chaotic.
I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
In Exploding Kittens, the core mechanic is putting bombs into the deck for other people to explode. So if you draw a bomb, you will explode unless you have a diffuse card. Everybody starts with one diffuse, which is nice. But once you've used it, you may not get more diffuse cards. But whenever you diffuse a bomb, you put it back in the deck wherever you want. So you might put it as the next card, and the other player's trying to figure out, okay, you're hiding it, you put it on the top. The other player's like, did Rob put the bomb on the top? Am I about to draw the bomb? Or did he give it to Todd?
Ha.
I don't know. It's kind of fun.
It makes you paranoid.
Yeah, it makes you paranoid. Yeah, exactly.
And there's like a ton of either expansions for it or like alternate rule sets.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole franchise now,
Yeah.
pretty much.
It absolutely exploded. It's like still one of the biggest Kickstarter
Yeah.
campaigns. Target and Walmart America were reaching out to them to find out if they could redesign their toy sections to put like exploding kitten displays.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Wow.
It's a success. It's one of those like highly unlikely success type of stories.
Yeah.
Or just like not highly unlikely because I know a few reasons why they succeeded, but it's sort of a catch a lightning in a bottle.
It's a little bit like an underdog kind of popping up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like everyone's making games hoping that's their big break, but it's most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
Like there's 99 games for every Exploding Kittens that don't even fund at all.
All this time and effort you put into these games, and Exploding Kitties is the one that's popular?
It's just
Doesn't that
it's mass
bug
market.
you?
It's really I don't know if it bugs me.
This is so detailed and so there's such a smart game.
But someone somewhere was like, you know what the world is missing? Cats that explode.
It's true.
Yeah. And they were right.
Well, Candyland sells 1 million copies a year on average since 1950.
That's insane
Still.
that it's still pulling
this
in those
day.
numbers.
Yeah, Candyland, and there's no game there. To be clear, you don't make any choices. You just go where the thing tells you to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess it's good for very young children to learn color matching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And counting.
Yeah, and counting. Yeah. but
That's what school's for.
it's mass market. It's accessible to anybody. Any family is going to have a copy of Candyland. And Exploding Kittens is Exploding Kittens is a much better game, to be clear. I'm not comparing the games. But it's a game that anybody can play at any age. It's quick. It's easy to learn. You can get to the table very fast. So there's a lot to be said for that kind of game. But they're a good example of a company that brought their audience, because the Oatmeal, the writer of the Oatmeal comic, for those who don't know, it was a web comic.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us.
The writer of the Oatmeal built up a following for 10 years. People loved that comic.
Yeah.
They were subscribed to his email newsletter. So one day when him and, wish I could remember his name, decided to make a game, Exploding Kittens, and put his art in it, he just emailed his entire follower list, hey, I made a game, you should buy it. And they did.
And they did.
And that's all it takes to catalyze it, because if you have 10,000 people that are already following you and a good bulk of them buy it, then immediately the algorithms kick in and everybody sees it. Like Kickstarter, and it's going to be on Facebook, and it's going to be all over the news and reviews, and like you need that sort of critical mass of people that draw attention to it, and then everybody else gets on board. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why it was successful. I mean, also there's a luck factor.
Sure.
Sometimes you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
But of course, there's all these things that contribute to success. So, well, Gameloops.
Yeah, Gameloops. Let's wrap it back around there, because we've got about 10 minutes or so left.
Yeah.
What do we need to know that we haven't touched on yet?
Well, we have a couple of sponsors.
Sure, yeah, let's talk about them.
Tumbleweed Toys. They're a toy shop in Kamloops.
Yeah.
And they gifted us some gift cards, and everybody who comes to the event can put their name in a draw to get a Tumbleweed Toys.
Nice.
Ooh, fun.
Tumbleweed Toys has a huge selection of board games.
They do. They really
Twister
do.
there, I bet.
I
Yeah.
bet.
I'm
that they
sure
do.
they have Twister.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. And of course they have toys and all kinds of nice
Yeah,
stuff.
but every time I go in, I'm surprised by the amount of board games they have. It's an incredibly extensive stock of board games there. Yeah.
And then CamCon, who's another company in town that runs an annual convention. You guys should talk to them too.
They just had a thing, didn't they? Or
They run every October.
okay, so maybe we can
CamCon?
CamCon. Yeah.
CamCon's a lot of fun. At the event, they've got like role-playing games, vendors. It's a big thing at TRU. They run it at TRU. They're sponsoring us with some prizes as well. And of course, I'm sponsoring the event with my time and with a couple of my games as prizes as well.
Cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
These rare, can't find them anywhere games. This could be your chance to get your hands on them.
Exactly. Yeah. We do have a couple food trucks. Kochi Bao will be there on Sunday. So far, they're going to be Sunday from 12 to 3, I believe.
Okay.
And then another food truck we just got today, New Taipei 220. They serve bubble tea for those who like
nice.
bubble tea.
Oh.
They're going to be there all weekend. Bubble tea and wheel cakes, which are it's a Taiwanese thing. It's like, how do I describe it? It's like a pancake in the shape of a wheel, stuffed with stuff. It's delicious.
Like custard?
Yeah, so there's a custard, red bean, and chocolate. Absolutely delicious. So we're going to have those.
That's Homer Simpson drooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come for the Twister, stay for the wheel kicks.
Yeah.
Don't come for Twister.
No, don't.
For dinner, we're also going to do a group pizza order from Pizza Now for dinner.
Nice.
So anybody, that's just a nice value add. People can sign up and put money in the pot.
Yeah.
If you want to stay and keep gaming, you don't want to have to leave for dinner, then you can do that.
So the times are
9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
holy.
Yeah.
And
Saturday Sunday.
you could stay all 12 hours.
Yeah. If you stay after 9 p.m., I just ask you to help me clean up.
That's the small tax you have to pay.
Yeah. But yeah, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. this Saturday and Sunday, June 15th to 16th.
All ages?
All ages.
And 9 p.m. on Sunday as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a feeling I have a feeling people won't be there that late on Sunday because it's Sunday night.
That's what they have.
But it is. I'll be there, and it'll be open, and I know lots of people who will be there for the whole time. So,
Will there be music?
we'll have some music in the background. Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
speaker.
it can't be too loud, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have some background music. As for ages, at events I've run, we get people between 20s and 50s, so it's like big range of adults, and then people will bring their children. So we're gonna have we're hoping to have a kids table because I know there's a handful of children for sure. I don't know who is gonna show up last minute.
Yeah.
But people bring their kids out and they'll play some more young friendly games.
Our last stream, we spoke to the guys that are in charge of brew loops, and I just kind of thought it would be kind of neat if you guys connected.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
I mean, if there's already beverages at this.
Like get some brewskis in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I mean. Combine the two.
That might be super cool.
Yeah.
Either bring board games to Brew Loops, maybe have a board game tent.
Ooh, that would be fun,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Board
Yeah.
game tent.
I think that'd be.
Or drinks at Brew Loops, at
Yeah.
Gameloops.
I've seen more and more like pubs having a little corner with
Yes.
board games stacked in them for
Yes,
Red
you know.
Collar.
for sure. Red Collar does have some.
Yeah. Do you know of any other places that?
I've seen some board games at Bailey's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, where else have I seen games?
I think I joined somebody for a Trivial Pursuit game there briefly or something
You
once.
don't remember?
Not exactly, no.
Well, that's good.
it'd be fun to do some board game events at the pubs, like at Red Collar.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the craft breweries. That'd be super cool.
Like, I think that would be actually a really cool idea because there's Kamloops Art Party and they have the paint night, and then
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah.
go to different pubs.
Yep.
I didn't know they went around. 'Cause
Yeah,
Kamloops
yeah.
Art Party has their own space, right?
They
Yeah,
do.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we did a stream with them sort of late last year. That was a paint and drink night at Chances.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
but that would be a great way to give them business and give you business and just all fun all around.
Yeah. In this case, at the Old Yacht Club, we can't have alcohol. So
Ah,
I should
there you go.
mention that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So don't bring it with you.
Yeah, so don't bring any to Gameloops just because that's part of the permit for the space.
I see.
No alcohol, no candles, and no confetti. Just in case you were wondering.
Yeah. So you can't like super celebrate when you win that game of Monopoly.
No.
It's not
I don't
allowed.
know what qualifies as confetti. How big, like, what if you had dice or something?
Dice.
That's
yeah.
probably fine.
Or like just
Set-
one single piece that you just went. Wee.
No, you can't even have one.
Can't even have one.
No. No.
You're you'd love to push the envelope.
That's what I do. Okay.
The funnest time of all.
This is the funnest time of all. Because we were visiting with Rob.
Yes.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
But also, it's
Also.
time to say hello to people you want to say hello to if you'd like to say hello to anybody.
I can say hello to anybody I want.
Anybody in the world.
Anybody, even if it's not even a real person. You won't know.
That's true. We won't.
You can say hello to a celebrity.
Yeah.
Oprah.
Wow, I didn't see this coming. Now I have the whole world on my mind.
Yeah, exactly. This is like we dropped the, like, if you could pick one person from history to have dinner with right now, who would it be?
Oh my word.
I know.
Albert Einstein, probably.
Good answer.
Why not?
I feel
he's
like I could see
super
that
cool.
for you
I
guys.
want to go on a bike ride with him.
Was he a bike rider?
Yeah, he rode the bike.
I want to play Twister with him. I want to teach Albert Einstein to play Twister.
I don't know if he would like it.
I don't know that he would either,
Too many
but
colors.
Maybe. He probably doesn't like crowds of people.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know. Stop that.
I just.
you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. It's helpful when you're talking. I'll say hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Love you guys. And
I don't know you guys.
yeah, I think that's it. I'll leave
You
it
did
with
a great job raising your son. He seems like a very nice man.
Good job.
You did
Good
all
job.
right,
Yeah. And also, we must always say hello to Kelsey's grandma. who's our
Oh, is that a tradition?
she's our greatest supporter.
Aw,
Yeah,
that's so nice.
isn't it? Right. Hi, Kelsey's grandma. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Come out to Gameloops. Have fun.
Yeah.
9 till 9.
9 till 9.
Yacht Club.
Saturday at the Yacht Club.
The Yacht Club is by...
On River Street by the baseball diamonds.
Yeah.
Just down from that big radio dish.
The skate park.
Yeah, skate park.
Don't worry, they won't hurt you.
By the Horseshoe Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I feel less like I know where it is now.
We just threw out a bunch of random locations.
I didn't grow up in Kamloops, so all of this is just like.